Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I feel like my head is a bit cropped off here, but my setup is very limited. Today I decided that I was gonna cut and sew another one of my hoodies. They're just long and then they sit awkwardly on me, so when I cut it and then I can sew the band from the bottom, this part, onto the where I cut. You can leave it you can leave it cut, but I think it looks nicer when you add the band at the bottom. I'm gonna jump right into it and I'm gonna cut this hoodie first. I got it from Yale. I actually went to Yale and it's super long and I'm short, so it needs to go. How cute is that? That's James, my eldest. He's 15 now, but very cute. I'm using just regular kitchen scissors. You would probably want to use something sharp. I'm cutting right over the pockets. It's still scary when I'm doing it. Like the other one I couldn't care. It was given to me by a friend, and so if it didn't work out, then so what? Like I spent so much money on this hoodie because I got it from Yale, like their little souvenir store. You appreciate things that you buy more than when it's just given to you, I believe. So that is how I'm feeling currently about this hoodie, because I spent a lot of money buying it. So that part's done. I am left that the whole point is to sew. So let's sew. What I did is I cut this and then I left a little bit of like this little space here. I can sew above this over here. My problem, as last time, is this is now bigger than the band. I needed something that could pull it to, and because I don't have stuff or machinery for that, I had to improvise. And so my pull-out couch in my little apartment thing downstairs worked perfectly well, but the lighting is terrible, so I came upstairs and so I'm using a chair. This is basically my setup that I have. I'm literally using a chair. So I've put the thing on the chair legs and it pulls the two to an equal length, and then I'm gonna begin sewing like over this, so this will be over that, like that, just along the line, and then it will be nice and neat. So let me tell you a little bit about the traveling. You get 2 weeks of paid leave throughout your year as being an au pair, as well as a travel month. If you somehow to work an agreement after your 2 weeks, I do not think that will be paid. I remember that when my boyfriend came in December, I had already taken my 1 week with my previous family before I rematched. And then I took my 2nd week when Luca came in December. And Luca came for 15 days. It was over December, so the kids were on break. My host mom just let me be off because she didn't really need me. She just didn't pay me for that 2nd week, which is completely fine by me because I still got to spend time with Luca and I wasn't working. I already had my 2 weeks of vacation, so the fact that she was even giving me the extra week was really kind. So you might have that sort of agreement with your host family, but it will probably not be paid. Sometimes your host family will ask you to take your vacation when they go on holiday, and it seems that is actually a common thing. Sorry, what the fork? With my first family, before I decided to rematch, they spoke to me about me taking my week when they take their holiday in June, and I was like, okay, that's fine by me. And so I was gonna originally go to California with a friend of mine, but that just didn't work out. She wasn't off, or she was off a week after I was, and so it just didn't work out for us. So then I had decided that maybe I would go and visit my family in Florida. I had never met them before. They're from my mom's side. They're all Spanish, which I can't speak a single word of. My mom's first language is Spanish, fun fact. And I know nothing. When I decided to rematch, I told them that I wanted to rematch a week before we were all going on holiday. I booked my flight to Florida. They had their holiday set or whatever. Going into rematch was always on my mind, but I never knew when I was going to do it, and that just happened to be the time. In rematch, you have to work for the family 2 weeks while you find your new family. I was going on holiday, they were going on holiday. When I took my week and I was going on holiday, I packed all my stuff. Because I rematched in the area, I brought my stuff to my new family before I left for Florida, and then I went to Florida and my new family picked me up from the airport. For me, it worked out very well in my favor. I was so happy to do that. I did not want to stay much longer in that other family. I took my week then, and then I took my second week in December when Luca came, like I explained. So I've been to Florida. I have been to Chicago twice because I did my Chicago weekend for my credits. If you are currently an au pair, you know you have to have credits in order to complete the program. I just did my credits through Au Pair Weekend, which is a program that allows you to do 36 hours per weekend, or you get 3 credits per weekend, and then you'll have to do it over 2 weekends. So I bought a package where I went to Chicago in September and then again in November, and I got my full 72 hours. And so that's what I did. I've been to Chicago twice. I've been to, because I live on the East Coast, I'm an hour outside of New York City. I've been to New York a few times. I'm on the East Coast. There's a lot of states within my range, I guess. I've been to Rhode Island, Boston. I've been to Vermont. I went to Washington and Philadelphia. For Rhode Island, Boston, Washington and Philadelphia, those were all driving distance. It's like, oh, and Niagara Falls. I went to Niagara Falls too. For Boston, Rhode Island and Vermont, I drove up with a bunch of friends. The first trip that I did was to Boston. Another au pair friend drove. The next thing I did was Washington and Philadelphia. I did that through a tour bus. The reason why we took a bus to the Washington one is because you get to see a lot more because the trip is planned. Obviously you pay a little bit more money for the activities that you're doing and like the sightseeing and all of that, but I do think it's definitely more worthwhile when doing a history tour like that, to do it as a bus tour. Rhode Island and Boston, my friend like Agnes drove up, well, my other friend drove up. I was with Agnes. And then the Vermont one, Agnes also drove up. I went for my birthday. That was when Luca was here over December, January, and my friend Juicy. We had a really fun time. Like, if you have the opportunity, it's such an awesome experience. I live on the East Coast and traveling is much easier because there's like a train to get to places, there's bus tours, there's a lot of things that depart from New York City. People are like, how do you have the time? As an au pair, you're entitled to 1 full weekend off a month. We did a 2-day tour to Washington. We did it over a weekend, a Washington and Philadelphia tour, and it was, you can do that. You can leave on the Saturday morning, come back Sunday. Maybe if your host parents are kind enough, they'll let you leave on the Friday, come back Sunday. So it is very possible. And then I also did a Niagara Falls tour. When I did Niagara Falls, I did it with my boyfriend. I completely hated the fact that the bus tour was not really what we expected. We didn't do half of the things that were on the itinerary. You have like an itinerary for a reason, and the fact that we didn't do half of the stuff that was on the itinerary was frustrating. The experience was good. It was very beautiful to see. Next, I'm going to tell you that at the end of your year, you have a full travel month once you've completed your full year or 2 years of being an au pair. For me, I decided that I wasn't going to do a travel month because I need to send money home, and I would rather work and get paid than take a whole month to travel. I know that sounds crazy, but that's just my choice. For a month I am going to California, so it didn't really work out for me. I was meant to go with a friend. She was extending in California and I was going to meet her there for a couple of days before I fly back home. With a travel month, you can go anywhere in your travel month. Your flight will be paid for from anywhere in the country. So if I'm now flying from, like, I'm flying to California for my travel week, I guess you could say, when I fly home on the 28th of April, Au Pair in America will pay for my flight from California. I'm an au pair in Connecticut. I don't have to come back to Connecticut to fly home. They will pay for your flight from wherever you are, and I think that is really nice because it's cheaper. I bought a one-way ticket to California, however my friend is now no longer extending, and so I just have to figure out accommodation and all of that. I personally made a budget when I arrived. Just my kind of personality, I like to know where my money's going, and if you don't know where your money is, you just keep spending it. Everybody will be different, everybody's travel accommodation will be different, so it's all dependent on you and what you want to do. If you're flying, you know you have to pay for flights. If you're driving, you know you have to pay for gas. So you need it, or if you're doing a tour bus, like there's certain things that you need to include in your budget, and it'll be different for everybody. Your accommodation, if you want to stay in a hotel, in a hostel, in a car. Either way, your travel costs will be different to everybody else. But not even just for traveling. I did a budget for every single month, and I said, okay, I earn this much a week. What's gonna go for that? Gym, birth control, pills, vitamins, whatever it is. I need to figure out how much I'm spending per week, and then how much I would give myself, how much I am willing to spend that month, how much I was saving for tax. You have to save for tax. Going out for dinner costs money, and going out for coffee every day costs money, and so I figured out how much I'm willing to spend a month. So for me personally, I think it is important to budget, because then also you're not stressed. I know some friends that stress. You know who I'm talking about? You stress way too much. So doing a budget will allow you to not stress so much, because you kind of know where your money is going and you know how much you can spend. Why is my camera saying you're dead? Hey guys, so I completely lost track of time and I have to go and fetch my host kids from school, but I will show you guys what the hoodie looks like once I'm done. I'll probably have to just finish that tonight, and then I will include that on the next slide thingy. Yeah, so I wanted to finish off by saying that I think that you guys should do a budget when it comes to traveling, and it is definitely possible. I know some girls who have gone to Disneyland, who go to California, Hawaii, and there's a lot of different places. So I definitely think you should consider doing a budget plan and figuring out when you would do traveling. So I really hope you guys enjoyed my video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So I will see you guys next week.